One of the things that's really impressive or distinctive about your playing is, how good your vibrato is, and how well you bend, and bend beautifully and in tune and stuff. How did you? That was a big hurdle for me as a guitar player to learn how to do that. I mean, who showed you how to do that?
I'm not really sure as far as the vibrato goes. I don't know. I appreciate that you bring that up because I don't know that much about it. I just do what I sort of do.
Right.
I know there's certain kinds of vibrato that really bother me, like really overly fast vibrato that throws things out of pitch and whatnot.
Yeah.
But with bending, there's just nothing more offensive than it's like race car driving, like oversteer or understeer. It's like when you just barely hit a note or you go too far, it's really an irritating sound. And that is something that you have to work on because when you're playing very spontaneously, it's easy to overshoot the mark or not pull it up high enough. I remember my manager always used to say, "Don't forget the intonation." And that really stuck with me for years. Still does to this day. But that is a very important, integral part to playing so that it's pleasing to the ear, is to keep it in pitch.
And why Ernie Ball strings?
Just because they're the best strings I've ever encountered. Ever since I first started, anything else that I tried, there was a lot. It was GHS. There was Dean Markley. All these different kinds of strings. The only ones that really seemed consistent and that didn't break too much and that just felt that were, that I could predict what they were going to do were Ernie Balls, and I've just never saw any reason to try anything else. That's a plug. No.
Yeah. When you go to record, how do you set up the mic? What sort of mics do you use, and what do you do to?
The never-ending journey. Mic placement. Well. The standard thing is always been an SM57, which is close mic'd. But there are some other microphones that I use, which I have different placements for. I can't remember the model numbers, but a Sennheiser and what was the other one we were talking about? Neumann. And so I'm still learning about mic placement because it has such a huge effect on the way that you sound. Mm-hmm. So there's no different rooms mean for different placement.
Yeah, right. Well, you said just recently you were doing a session and you were making discoveries.
This guy that was an engineer for a session that I was doing a month or so ago went into the room where the cabinet was, put on some headphones, and listened exactly what it sounded like with each microphone and placed it accordingly. And it was probably one of the best guitar sounds I've ever got.
That's cool.